Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bristol, Tennessee. Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile, and despite straightaways barely 200 yards in length, it's a very fast racetrack. The secret is the variable banking in the 300-yard corners. You may not have much room to accelerate off one corner before shutting down for the next, but with steep banking up to 30 degrees, there's not much loss of speed when you get there. And the all-concrete racing surface provides great traction. With 153,000 seats arrayed in the grandstands all the way around the racing surface, Bristol looks more like a football stadium on steroids than a typical racetrack. Veteran race drivers have described racing at this East Tennessee Speed Emporium as the equivalent of flying a fighter plane in a gymnasium. So it's not surprising that every NASCAR Cup Series race draws a massive crowd. Still, the best seat in the house is the one behind the wheel, but it's sure not a relaxing one. With laps speed ticking by at less than 15 seconds. Oh, and the compact nature of the track means that there are infield pits on both the front and back straightaways. The drivers have that added complication to deal with. Open for competition in 1961, Bristol Motor Speedway has had a number of remodels over the years and several owners as well. It's been under its current owner, Speedway Motorsports, that Bristol Motor Speedway has enjoyed its greatest period of growth. The track hosts events for all three NASCAR National and, as of 2021, once again goes through the dirt makeover to welcome World of Outlaw events as well as the Cup Series only dirt race. But tonight, it's round 2 of the SCAR Cup Series playoffs, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm alongside Eric Dotson in the HBR TV booth. Eric, how are you?
Doing great, Steve. How about you?
I'm just ducky, my friend. About 3 minutes left in the practice session. Let's take a look at the top times so far. It is the 86 of Colt Ansley with Jeff Napier actually second. Neil Quick third, Will Hewitt fourth, and David Bradford rounding out the top 5 on the scoring pylon. Eric, you ran some practice laps here earlier on in the evening. Tell us what your take was on the track and this new car.
It's a lot different than the old car. I feel like the handling wasn't what I was used to, and it was a little slick out there. You know, I'm used to running up towards the middle of the pack with the guys I normally run with, and I flat out got outrun out there, Steve.
Well, a lot of changes have certainly happened to this new race car, not only in real life, but also in the sim. iRacing has updated it a few times. Most recently, about a couple of weeks ago, they've added the horsepower package that the current car is using. They're a little bit harder to drive with lower downforce, so there's certainly a handful, even at a place like Bristol Motor Speedway. So we're going to have a good show in hand for us tonight, so we're going to have to sit back, relax, and, well, just enjoy it. We've got a minute and a half left in practice. We're going to jump into qualifying here shortly and see who's going to start from the front of the field.
Yeah, I think this will be a fun race. Hopefully, you know, these guys can keep it under them. I know the track's slick, especially in the beginning, and we do not have quick repairs again, I don't think. So hopefully we can keep everybody running.
Yep, no quick repairs, but we do have 5 sets of tires, which these guys may take advantage of all 5 of those sets. Penalty-wise, Jeff Napier will be dropping to the rear of the field with an end-of-the-line penalty to start tonight's race. Bobby Hamilton Jr. was going to have an EOL at the start of Stage 3, but he is absent tonight. Prior obligations for the driver of the 16 Hateful Chicken, unable to make the race here this evening. Before we jump into things too much deeper, of course, let's take a look at the current point standings. This is post last week's race at Darlington, still top of the board. Bobby Hamilton Jr. locked into the next round, but not sure. We'll have to look specifics at the rules. I think he does need to participate in all races to be eligible. We will dig deeper into that, find out the facts for you. David Bradford is second. Will likely inherit the top spot with Bobby dropping down. Thomas Mcmullen third, Brian Rose fourth, Vincent Short fifth, Cody Harger sixth, and Will Hewitt seventh. Mark Truxell eighth, Jesse Bobo ninth, Colt Ansley 10th, Jeff Napier 11th, and Justin Napier 12th. That is your playoff drivers. This is round 2 of the playoffs. Going to be an interesting one to watch. Tight racetrack, high speed. I say high speed again. It's a half-mile track. It is a short track, but man, these guys with this banking, they're really hauling the mail around this place. Top speed so far, I think we've seen 145 miles an hour. That's getting it on a half mile.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think it's very entertaining here at Bristol. Hopefully we can have a great race here tonight.
Certainly will. Qualifying is just about to start here. Practice is in the books. Who is going to roll off first? Might be Vince Short, the number 15 Track Bar Media Chevrolet. Hits the pit lane first, rolls out to start his first of 2 qualifying laps.
Vince is always a good qualifier, so we'll see if he can put that thing on the front row.
Green flag waving. First lap for the 15s of 15.010. Second quick, Colt Ansley 14.81. See if Colt can pick up on lap 2. $14.772 for the 86 of Colt Ansley, currently on the provisional pole. David Bradford has jumped up, was second, now dropped down to third. Bradford's first lap of 14.805. Will Hewitt's quicker, just a tickle. David Bradford in the wall off of turn number 4 as he tries to complete lap 2. No time registered for the 46, so that 14.80 is the best he's going to put down. Brian Rose is up to the 3rd spot. His second lap of 14.79. Jesse Bobo wraps up. Neil Quick out on the track. Click him off in a hurry here. Again, a 15-second lap, sub 15-second lap.
Neil Quick's been fast all year. We'll see what he can do here.
It's his last name, after all. First lap for the number 2. 15 flat, 15.004 really for the number 2 machine. See if he can pick it up on his second lap. He's currently sitting in the 7th spot.
Kind of looks like he's running down a line than, the top guys we've seen qualify.
Second lap goes top of the board. Neil Quick on the provisional pole, 14.753 seconds. 1/100th of a second quicker than the 86 of Colt Ansley. Last car to check in for a time. Mark Truxell has not hit the track at this point. Will likely not. Again, Mark is just kind of that closer, runs these races from the rear and works his way towards the front slowly but surely.
Our top 5, really our top 6. I mean, look at the time. They're all right there close.
Real tight times. I mean, we've got a 75 out of Neil Quick. His 77 was Colt. Will Hewitt is 78. Brian Rose in 80. David Bradford also in 80. Technically, that moves up. I think Bradford really ran an 81 there, looking at the last lap count. DeFries was an 83. Justin Napier was a 90. I mean, these guys are all really close in that time spread. That's awesome. We do have a couple minutes left in the session. We're going to step aside for another quick word from the Hateful Chicken. We will be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bristol, Tennessee. The Volunteer 250 about to get underway. Our starting grid with qualifying in the books. On the pole position, it is the 2 of Neil Quick with Quick Esports. To his outside with Outcast Racing, it is the 86 of Colt Ansley. Row number 2, also with Outcast Racing, it's the 33 of Will Hewitt, flanked by the 89 with Holler Boys Racing and Track Bar Media's Brian Rose. Row number 3, it is David Bradford in the number 46 machine with Alan DeFries starting in the 6th position, the number 71 with HLC Motorsports. Justin Napier with the Hateful Chicken will start 7th. Vincent Short, the number 15, will start 8th. Carson Conway, the number 72 Country Designs, will start from the 9th position with Jesse Bobo starting 10th. Thomas Mcmullen will roll off from the 11th position with TCB Motorsports. And Mark Truxell in the 12th spot, the number 5. Starting last on the field, it is the 40 of Jeff Napier with TCB Motorsports, opting not to qualify, I believe, here, instead just not taking the EOL. Will start at the rear of the field nonetheless. That is your starting grid for the Volunteer 250. Getting ready to go green. Just one more lap around, I think, on the formation lap. We'll get this race underway. Pace car's got the field formed up 2 by 2. Got a good bunch of you guys in the Facebook side for sure. I got one on the YouTube side, one lonely viewer. Say hi. We're watching in the stream chat. You're certainly welcome to chime in. Same thing on the Facebook side. Especially we get some cautions. You got questions. Me and Eric can certainly try and field those, but we're getting ready to go to the green flag here right about now. Pace car is going to peel off. Green flag is waving. We are underway. The Volunteer 250 is green. Into turn 1, Neil Quick's got the bottom line. Colt Ansley with the momentum on the high side takes the top spot. Will Hewitt in the fence off corner number 2. Right away, contact from the 33 to the high side. Neil Quick drops to the 2nd position, already 5 to 6 car lengths back from Colt Ansley already in the first lap.
Colt Ansley's wasting no time getting out up front.
No, Colt was certainly fast in practice, and Neil was able to throw down a pretty good lap in qualifying as well. But Colt definitely one to watch, was dominant in the practice session, stayed on top of that board most of the session, and quickly towards the front. Unfortunately for Neil Quick, not able to even lead a lap right out of the gate from the pole position. Seven-tenths of a second, the disadvantage for Neil Quick, already 5 laps into the Volunteer 250. 250 lap event here this afternoon.
Colt told us last week when he was up here that this was going to be a race he was looking forward to, and I know it's early, but he's looking strong.
Mid-pack, looking at the battle between Brian Rose and Vincent Short, 2 Track Bar Media machines. The 89 of Brian Rose, the blue and white, the 15 of Vincent Short, the red and white. This is for the 6th position. Rose has it. Vincent Short putting some pressure on the 89 right now. Justin Napier is up into the top 5, as well as David Bradford from the 5th position. David runs 4th. Ooh, a little loose off corner number 2 goes Vince Short, gathers it up. Brian lets him go. The 5 of Mark Truxell is going to take the spot as well, and possibly Alan DeFries, though he's got a little bit of a wiggle off of turn number 4. Brian Rose just trying to settle in, has lost a couple of spots since the start of the race. In fact, he's down, started in the 4th position, now runs 8th, only 10 laps in. Again, conservative was the plan for the 89. Just save those tires, try to be consistent, not overheat the right front. Don't want to melt this thing off. If you can keep it consistent, keep the fenders on that number 89, he might have a shot here this evening.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how the tires wear with, some of these guys running the different lines, higher or lower, and we've heard that the higher line's kind of the better line here.
Well, it's a combination. It's kind of counterintuitive too, is that the top line is a little bit better on the tire, but it seemed that it was also a little bit quicker as well. Speaking of quick, though, Neil Quick is actually dropping a little bit. Got some pressure from the 33 of Will Hewitt. Neil back to the third spot, but everyone gaining on the 86 of Colt Ansley. Not sure if Colt had an issue or if he's just backing out of it. Had too much pace early on trying to protect those tires, but either way, still continues to lead. Will Hewitt now second, David Bradford third, Justin Napier up to fourth, and Neil Quick was fifth. Now gives that position up to the 15 of Vincent Short. Again, Vincent up top, Neil down low. Not sure if Neil's got an issue or if he's just in total conservation mode. He is free falling through the field, though, already back to the 8th position. Started on the top spot.
Yeah, it seems like anytime you're on the bottom, kind of are out to hang here. So maybe he's just trying to fall in line.
It's tough. I mean, we said that that top side kind of seemed to be the preferred line. I mean, you got plenty of room down low, but it doesn't seem like it's working out for the two of Neil Quick. See Carson Conway also going by on the high side. Carson's actually in the wall a bit.
Ooh, I thought he was going to take a hold of Neil there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Neil Quick now back to the 10th position. Started from the pole position. 19 laps in, a free fall. Not sure what's going on with the two. Certainly has the ability to get around here quickly. This might just be some extreme conservation as far as tires are concerned. Maybe he's just got a feel that he doesn't like. Not sure. We'll wait and find out. Again, relatively early here in the Volunteer 250. Only 20 laps in. Colt Ansley continues to lead. Will Hewitt second. Bradford third. Justin Napier, the Hateful Chicken Machine. He's the only Hateful Chicken here this evening. He is in the 4th spot with Vincent Short in behind in the 5th position. Will Hewitt up in the fence.
Did you talk to anybody about how the damage affects the car here at this track?
You know, we've seen it on the short tracks that it isn't as important. I did see Brian ran a lot of laps in practice with damage on the car, and it didn't seem to affect him all that much. So as far as conversations, no, didn't talk to anybody about it specifically, but just as far as watching it, did not seem to hurt these guys too terribly bad. Of course, you don't want to push it too far. You see the 15 of Vincent Short get into the wall as well, and now some right side damage to that machine. Might have a battle for the lead here. David Bradford right to the back bumper of Colt Ansley. Lap 25. David Bradford, the number 46 Crown Royal Peach Machine. He wants the lead.
Looks like he's trying to figure out where he's going to be able to try to make a move here on Colt.
Well, it is still relatively early, even in this 27-lap run. I can't imagine anybody's going to want to take tires. If we got a caution and he goes down low, this is what we've seen in some practice races. You're able to get to the bottom, but the outside has such momentum. It's a good way to battle back and defend that position. It's going to be tough for the 46 to clear. Nope, not so much. Down the straightaway into turn number 3, now through number 4. David Bradford still on the bottom. The momentum carrying the 86 of Colt Ansley back around, able to defend. Now, Colt's still not able to get back in front completely to clear the 46, but David can't complete the pass either. This is a way the way the leaders can burn up the tires.
Yeah, it looks like David gets him pretty good about coming out, but then Colt gets that run going down the straightaway.
David Bradford not giving up, though, starting to move his line a little bit more towards mid-center. Off corner 4 once again. Colt still with the lead. David's going to give up the pursuit at this point. Save those tires. Again, running down low, trying to take over the top spot. It's going to burn that right front for sure. Do that too often for too long, you're going to free fall through the field like we saw the 2 of Neil Quick do. Speaking of Neil, though, he has worked his way back up into the 6th position. Take a look at the number 2 here, see where he's running. Just ahead of Thomas Mcmullen. Thomas was beating the back bumper in on that number 2 machine for a while. And Neil, I guess, just decided, you know what? I guess it's time to go. Closing in on the 89 of Brian Rose.
Yeah, he may have just got his tires too hot and had to cool them down.
Taking a look to the inside of the number 89 of Brian Rose. Move Neil Quick to the top 5. Again, conservative driving, it looks like, out of Brian Rose. I don't think he's got a problem. He's shown some pace. He's certainly put in the time as far as practice is concerned. I think he's got a game plan and he's sticking to it.
You just got to watch about being too conservative and not end up a lap down here. Neil Quick looking to go by Justin Napier.
Now, my question here might have been just the fact that Neil dropped back. He had pressure from the 86 of Colt Ansley. Colt took over the top spot right away. This might be Neil just trying to work things out. Worked himself to the back of the field. Now he's battling back towards the front, trying to figure out early how difficult it could be to cut through the field. Now, it may not necessarily be good data, so to speak. It kind of early on in the race, you got guys that are on totally different strategies that are saving. It may be a good plan. It may not. But we're going to see how it works out for the 2 of Neil Quick.
Yeah, he can, you know, he can base his strategy a little bit different than anybody, a lot of these guys that's in the championship run, and he's not eligible for the championship, so he can be a little bit more aggressive and, you know, try different things that, you know, normally people wouldn't do.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Neil's playbook is a lot thicker than any of these guys that are in contention for a championship. You know, the oddball thing that these contenders may not be willing to try because they don't want to sacrifice too much. Neil might say, the heck with it. Let's give it a shot. I got nothing to lose. So it's going to make the 2 a contender and someone difficult to deal with as we work through the playoffs. Back up front, David Bradford, a car length in behind Colt Ansley. Probably content right now just to ride in behind that number 86 Rickmo Tech machine.
Looks like David's being content with riding right now, not battling with Cole. I'm sure he don't want to burn his stuff up.
Well, certainly not. I mean, he got some heat in the tires trying to get by down low. He's going to have to find an alternate route around or just have the perfect entry to get around Colt Ansley for that top spot. I know we're going to be getting close to a stage break here relatively soon. It's at lap 75 will be the end of stage 1. We get to that point, it does pay points, so I know David's going to be fighting to be up into that top spot. But how much do you risk at the end of this stage? I know we're going to pit and get some tires, but don't forget, we're at Bristol, man. Bristol, baby. No fast repair. So do you risk a lot to get those points at the stage, or you just say, you know, I'll stick around here in second spot and pick up those points?
I think eventually David tries to go to the lead. I mean, and it may be sooner than later because it looks like Will Hewitt's starting to put a little bit of pressure on David.
Took the words right out of my mouth. The 33 of Will Hewitt putting some pressure on the back of David Bradford. David may have to go just to avoid losing the second spot. Put a car between him and the 33. Will Hewitt looking pretty strong here at lap 50 of 250. Imagine that. They clicked off in a hurry here from Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah, I feel like David's kind of just trying to find out where he's stronger than Colt, and making a game plan here, which Colt's done a fantastic job. He's ran a good line, and I feel like, he's kind of breaking David's momentum because he's running kind of where David's running.
But in the same token, if you're slowing David down, you're just helping a guy that already knows how to save tires save even more. If David can get out in front with some pit strategy, he might be very difficult to get around, just as we're seeing Colt's out front. Clean air is king no matter where you run, especially in these cars. They're a handful. But Colt's doing good. He's turning some good lap times. Last time for both himself and David were both identical lap times of 15:99. Everybody else is in the 16s.
Looks like Colt's pretty good at coming out of the turns. He's kind of going down to the bottom and letting it drift back up, and it looks like, I don't know if David's just riding, but it looks like he's a little bit faster than David right there doing that.
Colt was very, very smooth in practice. Even in qualifying, we saw it just briefly as we couldn't get a whole lot of time in for everybody, but he runs a smooth lap, and smooth is faster on a place like this. It's also good on equipment. If he can keep up that consistency, it'll be good. David Bradford, though, still trying to find a way around. He had some momentum off corner exit there, off turn number 2. Now down the front stretch into 1. Let's see if he can do it again. Yeah, mid-corner, David Bradford is very strong. He's got to back off the throttle just a bit to avoid getting to the back bumper of the 86. So, Eric, I think you're right. I think Colt might be holding him up just a bit. Meanwhile, 4th and 5th have caught the pack. Ansley, Bradford, Hewitt, McMullen, Brian Rose, your top 5. Neil Quick is still hanging around in the 6th position.
Here goes David to the low side again.
Taking a look for the lead.
That run down the straightaways is just too strong.
But he's got to be careful, too, because if he spends too much time trying to go down underneath the 86, he's got a few cars lined up behind him that could just stay to the top, kind of freight train the 46 up high, and then David's going to be relegated back to at least 3rd, if not 5th or worse. Looking back from the 86 of Colt Ansley, lap 65, 10 laps from the end of the stage. David Bradford wants around, but so does Will Hewitt. Will Hewitt right to the back bumper of David Bradford, that last corner. A little bit more of a battle in the back here. Mark Truxell and Neil Quick trying to go at it here. Truxell in the 7th spot, Neil Quick in 6th. Carson Conway a lap down now, the number 72 sliding backwards. Neil Quick using that high side again.
I feel like Neil's kind of running both, down low and up high.
It's going to work to his advantage later on in the race. If he's quick on both lines, he's got some options where a lot of these guys might not. Will Hewitt drives it in real deep into turn 3.
Maybe Bradford's trying to set up a last lap pass for this stage.
Well, I mean, honestly, if David does get alongside and just can get the nose out in front of the 86 at the line at the end of the stage, I mean, doesn't matter how far out in front you are, as long as it's there, pays the same points. Couple laps to go before the stage ends. Bolt off turn 4, last lap of the stage. No challenge from the 46 off turn 4. Colt Ansley's going to win stage number 1. Second place, David Bradford. Third, Will Hewitt. Fourth, Thomas Mcmullen. And fifth is Brian Rose. Burned through that first stage in a hurry. Some good racing. Some good, clean racing. Nobody up in the fence. I mean, a couple of scrapes here and there, but...
As expected, everybody's going to be pitting.
Did Neil Quick stay out? Neil Quick stayed on the racetrack.
I did not see him stay out. I don't know the strategy there.
He may have rolled down the pit lane, but he stayed out. He never hit his box. I don't know if he missed his box or what happened, but Neil Quick, it said he hit pit in. Here he comes this time. See Vince Short, Neil Quick, Carson Conway again. Carson's a lap down. Carson will likely get the lucky dog. So interesting. Neil went down the pit lane, just drove through. I'm not sure if he was trying to lead a lap. I'll have to check to see if he got that lap led. But if you roll down the pit lane the first time through, you have the option. You can pit the second time without getting the penalty. Maybe what Neil did just to get some bonus points. But again, he's not in contention for the championship. So maybe he missed his box. I don't know how you do that when you got the first one in the pit lane, but...
Well, it's a single, or it's a, you go from the back stretch to the front stretch, one pit lane. So,
right, but he never stopped the first time through.
I'm not sure. Unless he's just wanting to see how his car does in traffic and come from the back. I mean, because like you said, he wouldn't be doing it for bonus points because he's not in the championship.
Interesting. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after a word from the Hateful Chicken. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Bristol, Tennessee. The Volunteer 250 about to get back to the green flag. Stage 1 in the books. Colt Ansley was the winner of that first stage. He is continuing to be out in front, chooses the high side for the restart. Pace car peels off the banking, and immediately the 86 is in the throttle. A good restart for Colt. Mark Truxell making up some huge ground on the restart, up to the 4th position, looking for 3rd into turn number 3. He's got it. Mark Truxell out of a cannon.
Woo, we about had a wreck with Will Hewitt there.
Saw that.
That's a great job.
Clear sailing out the nose of the 86 of Colt Ansley so far, lap 84 of 250. Mark Truxell looking awful racy there in the 3rd spot. Little slip from the 86. 3 wide off of turn 4. Bradford backs out of it wisely. Saw the 5 coming. Didn't want to go crazy. Like I said, Mark Truxell looks like a man on fire. We don't usually see that much aggression out of Mark Truxell, but here he is contending for the 2nd spot, looking for the lead. We saw a mistake out of the 86 of Colt Ansley there. David Bradford was going to try and take advantage of it. But meanwhile, Mark Truxell decided, you know what? I'm going low here.
Yeah, he made that low side work. Here he goes again to the inside.
Mark Truxell's going to lead that lap.
He's going to clear him, I think.
Move Mark Truxell, the number 5, to the top spot, able to make that move on the bottom work. I think he's going to have to be careful of. He's still running the bottom. Colt Ansley's going to get that top groove working again. Going to carry a lot of speed down the straightaways. If he starts to catch Mark, Mark's a little loose off turn 4 there. Mark's starting to put some distance on the 86.
Yeah, he's making that low side work, but, you know, well, he moves it up to the high side a little bit there. I was going to say, we don't know for how long with the way the tires wear here.
Mark Truxell's last lap of 14.94, just a 10th off his best lap of the afternoon. Interestingly enough, Mark Truxell's best lap, a 10th faster than Colt Ansley, and a 10th and a half faster than David Bradford's. In fact, Mark Truxell's fastest lap of the race is the fastest on the track, tied with Thomas Mcmullen, 14.85 seconds. I'm gonna say, we usually don't see this much aggression out of the 5 of Mark Truxell. He's usually calculating, clean and green till the finish when it really matters, but he's got some pace. He's running well here, lap 94 of 250.
Yeah, he's looking strong right now. And you know, the thing about it is, if he moves up a line and runs a line that Colt's running, we seen with Colt and David, it'll be even harder for, you know, Colt to be able to pass him.
Well, still plenty of racing to go. Lap 96 at 250. We've got stage 2 underway here from Bristol, Tennessee. Mark Truxell, your leader. Colt Ansley, 2nd. David Bradford, 3rd. Thomas Mcmullen up a bunch of spots in 4th. And Will Hewitt, your top 5. Let's take a minute here and let's crank it up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Lap 100 goes on the board. Will Hewitt looking aggressive once again, trying to take the position away from Thomas Mcmullen. Hewitt runs in the 5th spot. Thomas is 4th. Getting a little bit of your answer there, Eric. The number 33 has some right side damage, but it doesn't seem to be slowing him down any.
Ooh, Thomas way loose coming out right there.
Thomas trying to defend that position from the 33 of Will Hewitt. Well, we've been clean and green since the start. Knock on wood, no caution flags, 104 laps of green flag racing. Almost to halfway, about 22 laps, and we will be past the halfway point of this event. Let's try to go through the field while we have an opportunity. Of course, at the front of the field, it is the 5 of Mark Truxell with HLC Motorsports. Mark is up 10 spots, started in the, actually 11 spots, started in the 12th position here this evening, did not qualify, but has quietly worked his way towards the front. Beginning of stage 2 was quite aggressive to take over the top spot, continues to lead from Bristol, Tennessee. Colt Ansley dominated stage 1 really much since the drop of the green flag, led it all the way to the end. David Bradford been battling, trying to get by him that entire time. David sits still behind the 86, a car length back, and it's not necessarily time to go for David Bradford as he just sits there patiently, saving tires, trying to keep the things underneath him and planning a run for later on in the race. Thomas Mcmullen up 7 positions in the 4th spot. Thomas out of Pensacola, Florida, and that Murder Creek Distillery number 02. A good run for Thomas. He's up 7 spots. Will Hewitt, top 5 machine, the number 33 out of Gloversville, New York, also with Outcast Racing. The Snyder's 5er Chevy Camaro looking very strong. Brian Rose, the Track Bar Media Camaro, the number 89 with Holler Boys Racing. Brian out of Verner, West Virginia, soon to be moving to the Bristol, Tennessee area. I think he may have already made that move, still waiting to change residences, but this is going to be his new home track going forward. Brian having a good run, still down a couple of spots from where he started, but again, being conservative, save the car for later, don't wad it up. Got to finish the race if you want to win the race. Justin Napier, the number 54 Hateful Chicken Machine, TCB Motorsports. He runs in the 7th spot. He started in the 7th spot. Again, not too shabby. We're just about halfway here in the race. Car looks pretty clean. Just working it to the finish to see how this thing plays out. Neil Quick, the pole sitter, started up front, of course, quickly lost that position to the 86 of Colt Ansley. Is slid back again, now runs in the 8th position. Jesse Bobo, another championship contender, runs in the 9th spot. He started 10th, so again, a clean green afternoon, evening for Jesse Bobo, the number 7 out of Walnut, Mississippi. It's had a good run here in the playoffs so far. Has put up some pretty good finishes as of late, seeing where he can bring the number 7 home this evening. Vincent Short, the number 15, also a Track Bar Media entry with Holler Boys Racing, running in the 10th spot. That is your top 10 spotlighted drivers here at lap 115 of 250.
Looks like Colt Ansley was able to go to the lead while we were going through the field, so Colt regains the lead with David Bradford 2nd and Thomas 3rd.
I'm gonna go back here if I can find the replay and see how Mark Truxell lost that spot. Given that he's slipped all the way back to the 6th position, I'm gonna go with he had an issue. Mark Truxell past Colt. We don't want that one.
I would say he may have had an issue, or he may have got the tires too hot early.
Mark Truxell down low. Colt takes the top side. This is the replay. Crosses the line, has the momentum into turn 1, and very easily just takes care of the 5 of Mark Truxell. I think, Eric, you're absolutely right. Mark got that thing too heated up and got stuck on the bottom, and these guys just kind of freight train around him.
Colt Ansley's been an absolute rocket as he's been up near the front the whole race leading, and now he's defending that lead again, and looks like David's content with riding right now, but I'm sure David will start to try to work past him to win this stage.
Well, this stage ends at lap 150, so the first stage 75 laps, second stage 75 laps. Now, Colt Ansley, interesting tidbit with this new next-gen NASCAR Cup car. When they first released it on the sim, everybody's biggest complaint was, oh, it's a slot car. It's nailed to the racetrack, and you just kind of you point it, you aim it, and you go. Well, now that they've made this change, they've added the horsepower, they've dropped some downforce. This car's a lot harder to drive than it once was. You see Colt Ansley, he actually does pretty well running the super late models or the ARCA cars, and those cars are notorious for being loose. So a loose race car seems to be the driving preference for Colt Ansley, and it's showing here as we're just about to halfway. He is just put on a performance here this afternoon. We saw Mark Truxell, of course, lead some laps after the start of stage 2, but those hot tires have went away for the 5, and Colt Ansley back towards the front of the field, leading this one here, lap 125.
Yeah, David's all over him right now. I feel like David may know that he struggled to get around Colt, so he may be trying to just make him nervous of make a mistake.
Colt does have Jesse Bobo just up ahead. The lead lap car about to go down the lap. This may come into play a factor with this top spot.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Bobby Jr. a couple weeks ago use a lap car to actually take the lead.
Leaders take the top side to get around the 7 of Jesse Bobo. Jesse stays low, out of the way of the leaders. Right now, 129 is the lap count.
I think right here's the biggest advantage for David. You know, when he's tried on the bottom, it looks like he's put up a fight until the third place cars got close enough to kind of force him to stay on the bottom. So now that him and Colt have a little bit of lead over third place, I think you may see him go to the bottom again.
That's a really good point. It almost seems like David is just allowing that happen. If you just run in behind the 86, him and Colt are going to start to pull away from the rest of that little pack. It's going to give David an opportunity to start making some moves, at least for a few laps, until those guys get caught back up.
Yeah, it seemed like David's been aggressive when he knows he's not going to drop back any, and when the third place car's been there, David's kind of been a little bit more conservative.
Little wiggle out of the 46 off turn number 4 there, just slightly. Didn't give up a whole lot of ground, if any, to Colt Ansley. David taking a little bit higher line through turns 1 and 2 than Colt Ansley.
I mean, Colt's running perfect laps right now. I mean, it's going to be hard to get around him.
Colt and David both running laps within, well, I say half a tenth of each other, but that last time they ran an identical lap time. Both ran a 15:69. Interestingly enough, so did Brian Rose.
David a little loose there.
We saw that a couple of times off turn number 2, a little bit of a wiggle out of the 46. He's certainly trying to get by. Running out of time for stage number 2, though. Lap 138 goes up. Now 139. 12 more laps and we'll call it a stage end. Maybe a little bump from the 46. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I think he's getting ready to make his move.
David Bradford maybe trying to force a mistake out of the 86 here with 10 laps to go in stage number 2. Another wiggle out of David Bradford, ever so slight, but he still takes the bottom into the corner. Bradford down low again into turn number 3 to the door of the 86. Colt's got the momentum off the corner, crosses the line again. Lap 142 goes on the board. A little bit of deja vu here. This seems very similar to the battle that Colt and David had early on in the race. David was able to get alongside multiple times. In fact, they rode side by side for quite a few laps before David tucked back in behind Colt Ansley. Colt now continues to lead. David Bradford once again tucking down in behind the number 86 machine here. Lap 143, almost to the stage end. Colt just running his line. It's making it awfully difficult for David Bradford to get by and take over that top spot. I think it's going to need to have a mistake out of the 86 before anything can happen. David might need to force that somehow or another.
Yeah, Colt's looking strong, and he's getting that run, and it's going to be hard to pass him.
I hate to go to look at anybody else right now. This is the action on the track. David Bradford, a little bit of bump to the 86 of Colt Ansley. Really just moves him forward, but that was a, hey, I'm here, I'm coming.
He's just trying to rattle his cage.
That's the thing. If anybody on the track is going to give me a bump, I want it to be the 46 because he can do it without wrecking you. It's easy just to turn a guy, but to give a guy a bit of a push and just say, hey, I'm here, that takes a little bit of skill. And so far, David Bradford showing that. Lap 147 of 150 in this stage. Maybe a little contact coming again. David Bradford trying to take over this top spot, wants this stage win as they work by the 15 of Vincent Short to put Vince a lap down. That Carson Conway has possibly called it a night as well. He's listed as 42 laps down, though he is still in the pit lane.
He blew an engine.
Mechanical problems out of the number 72 once again. Last lap of stage number 2. Can Cole Ansley hold off David Bradford once again? They are off turn number 2 down the backstretch. David going to take a look, but nothing doing. Off corner number 4. Stage 2 in the books. Colt Ansley, David Bradford, Thomas Mcmullen, Brian Rose, Will Hewitt.
I think David Bradford is probably hoping for a great pit stop here and maybe a mistake out of Colt. He's not been able to pass him yet, and you know, whoever gets off pit road first will definitely have the advantage here.
Field already in the pit lane, getting their service once again. Tires and fuel. Don't think anybody's going to gamble with 2. Colt Ansley beats the 46 off pit lane once again. Pit stop's complete. We're going to step aside once again and have a word from the Hateful Chicken. We'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still under caution at the end of stage number 2, the Volunteer 250. Colt Ansley won stage 1, also wins stage number 2 over the 46 of David Bradford. The 02 of Thomas Mcmullen was 3rd. Brian Rose was 4th. Will Hewitt was the 5th position in stage number 2. Pit stops are completed. Field working its way into turns 3 and 4 here. We may get the 1 to go signal this time by. There it is. Pace car lights are off, as is the caution light. Going green the next time by, lap 157 of 250. The final stage set to get underway here from the Volunteer 250. Tell you the way it's going to take a bumper to take the top spot away from Colt Ansley. We'll have to see how he fires off this restart. We saw the 5 of Mark Truxell on fresh tires like shot out of a cannon. Went from really where he's at right now in the 7th spot to the lead at the start of stage number 2. Let's see what he can do with it this time. But quickly, the leaders were able to eat up that deficit, cut into the lead of the 5, and Mark Truxell slipped from that position. Pace car is down. Colt Ansley in the throttle right away. Green flag is waving. We're back underway. Stage 3, the Volunteer 250 is underway.
Here comes David.
David Bradford down low. Might have him clear off turn number 2. Slides up. Nope, not enough. Try it one more time through 3 and 4. He might have him this time. Yes, he does. David Bradford to the top spot. Crossover move from Colt Ansley. He's going to look down low in turn number 1. This is how you start stage number 3. You battle for the lead. Colt Ansley down low. Contact with the 86. Actually looked like a lot of net code to me, but either way, caution is out. Colt is collected by multiple cars into turn number 1. Tough break. No fast repairs either. That may do it for the 86 of Colt Ansley.
Yeah, that's a tough break. It all happened so fast. I think you're right. I think it was net code, but
that's unfortunate. We've seen a lot of that with these cars, but let's go take a look at the replay, see what we can see. This is on the front stretch. Net code or not, I actually kind of looks like the 86 may have come up, but clearly visually he probably thought he had a lot more room than he did, because he got turned around before he really even made contact with the 46, and unfortunately he makes hard contact with the inside safer barrier, then slides up into traffic into turn number 1. See if we can get a better look at it here from Tower.
it kind of looked like David was coming down and Colt was going up, and I think they were on the course to maybe make contact, but I think the net code came in.
Let's check it again from the roof cam on the 86. This is off turn 4. No, this is off turn 2. Sorry. Yeah, Colt's coming up. Colt comes into the left rear of the 46. Again, they technically do not make contact. This is a netcode issue from what I see. Would Colt have hit the 46 or not? It's hard to say, because again, visually, he still had some room before he was really into the 46. He wasn't turning hard right up into him. Let's see if I can get a better view. I'm just trying to get some other angles of it. It's hard to say for sure.
So unfortunate for Colt. I mean, he was tough all night.
Here we go. This is the camera we're going to want to see. This is right on the window net of the 46. So this is exiting turn number 2. This is not full speed, slow motion off the corner. David up top, Colt down low. Yeah, Colt comes up, but you see that right front fender buckle before there's even contact made. So unfortunately, it is a simulation. It is a computer system. It's all based on mathematics and estimations that the computer is trying to figure out. Did he make contact? Did he not? And unfortunately, with this next gen car, we have seen a lot of that where contact is not made, but it still registers as such.
Yeah, that's just a bug that iRacing's gonna have to get lined out.
And I'll be honest, that sucks. That just plain sucks. On a racing aspect of things, I would have loved to see this come down between David and Colt. There's been so many times we've had an incident that was legit and somebody that's taken out, but this one's just straight up netcode. I hate to say it, but it's going to rob us of a really good finish here, I think, but maybe not. We got plenty of laps left. See if anybody can do anything with David Bradford here as we get ready to go back to green. Pace car is down. Only 8 cars left on the track, but we're back underway. Brian Rose up to the second spot. He was able to avoid that. Ooh, close contact. Maybe not with the 33.
As fast as he was coming up, we're lucky we didn't get net code there.
Well, that's just it. You know, Brian was closer to Will Hewitt there than Colt was, and Colt gets turned down into the wall. It's just major frustration out of the 86, I'm sure. So while this goes on here, looks like we do have Justin Napier willing to come up and talk to us coming out of the care center. Let's see if we can pull Justin Napier into the broadcast booth. Justin, you got us?
Hey, how's it going?
Justin, coming out of the care center, unfortunately caught up in that last caution. What did you see from your perspective?
I just saw the 86 car just coming up the track, and, you know, obviously he had no control of the car, so I can't be mad at him. I don't know. I don't know what happened up there, and, you know, my plan all night long was just to lay off, and then at the end of the night, get aggressive. I tried that last stage, and it didn't work. You know, I couldn't catch the field back up, so I was like, okay, I need to stick with the field this time, and that was just the stupidest idea I ever had in my life.
Well, watching it happen, it seemed that David Bradford was a little aggressive on the initial restart, waiting until later on in the run. Wasn't working for the 46, and we got a caution, maybe? Caution. Yep, caution
yeah,
is
like Will
out.
Hewitt.
But yeah, going on there, Justin, it looks like a pretty significant bit of netcode actually is what ultimately caused it. Colt did come up a little bit, was possibly going to make contact with David Bradford, but the netcode contact happened. It was pretty severe, unfortunately, and he gets spun out into the front, I think it was at turn number 3, and collects a lot of cars, and yourself included.
Yeah, I mean, that's just short track racing for you, especially here at Bristol. There you know where to go. Honestly, person I'm mostly mad at is whoever said take away the quick repair. Now, I get that we're in the playoffs. You know, the best of the best is going to win, you know, stay out of trouble and win races. But, I mean, you don't even get a freaking chance, man. You wreck, you're done. That's it, you know. So I'm just not very happy with whoever said take away the quick repair.
Well, I see it from both sides of it for sure. Pulling the quick repair, it certainly makes guys think twice about being overly aggressive too early. But if somebody doesn't think twice, and it can ruin somebody else's day. So it's kind of a catch-22. I see what you're saying.
No, you're exactly right. And you know what? If it had been another night and I'd been on the other end of the stick, I'd have been out there on the track and, you know, been like, well, good. I don't have to deal with those guys anymore. I've been like, cool, no quick repair. That's fine with me, you know. But unfortunately, I'm on the short end of the stick tonight where I'm like, man, whoever said that, I am super mad at. But I understand why they did that. They did it that way. You know, it makes the racing a little bit more interesting. And unfortunately, it's just a hard thing to swallow whenever you're stuck in the pits and you're just watching people go around the track and inevitably lost.
Do you have any shot of getting back out there and picking up a couple of spots? I know Carson Conway had an engine expire. You're still sitting in front of him, so that's not a big deal. I mean, attrition could still happen. I see Will Hewitt obviously involved in this caution. He's got some damage. He's probably going to get repaired, but where does your car sit? Are you done for the night, or are you going to try and get back out there?
I got about 10 more minutes for I could get back out there, 5-10 more minutes. And, you know, looking at the field, looking at the way the racing's going, I don't think it's going to hurt for me to get back out there, get about 10, 20 more laps in to kind of pick up where some other people fell off. And then I may just park it after that. But, you know, I'm really frustrated because, you know, tonight the other Hateful Chicken car ain't here, you know, Bobby Jr. So I was kind of repping for Hateful Chicken tonight. And so, I just hate to bring it in. I hate to finish it out this way. I really want to bring it home here at Bristol because this is one of my favorite tracks, and especially bring another win to the Hateful Chicken in the playoffs. But unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's gonna be the case tonight.
Tough break for the 54 Hateful Chicken Machine. Justin, thanks for chatting with us. We're going to try and get a word with Colt Ansley here. Good luck going forward. I hope we get that thing fixed.
Thank you, Steve. You're my best friend.
Next, we're going to go to Colt Ansley. Colt in the broadcast booth. Colt, you got a copy?
I got you.
So I don't know what your opinion on is it, but we looked at it a few different angles here, and it looks like, unfortunately, some pretty significant net code. Is that how you saw it from your perspective?
Yeah, leave it to iRacing to screw up a perfectly good race. I mean,
Right.
That was a foot of net code. That shouldn't happen. That's unacceptable.
Absolutely terrible. Unfortunately, with this new car, we've seen that a lot. Me and Eric were saying it before you even came in here. It says we were really looking forward to watching you in the 46 do battle. You were dominant. This thing was yours. If it wasn't yours, it was a top 2 for sure. But here you sit with a broken race car. Any chance of getting this thing fixed as we go back to green?
No, I'm done. No reason to go out there and just waste time. I beat 100-something laps and just get thrown away because this game's broken. I mean, that's really all there is. All there is to it. David and I had a absolute killer battle all night long, and the Rick Mattek Chevy was extremely fast, and David was a little better towards the end of the run, but I was able to hold the track position, and I think I could have held on, or at least been pretty good there towards the end. And I don't know why I did anything different. I should have known better. But as soon as I let him get up underneath me, rather than fight the top like I had been all night and winning, I crossed up. I let him take the lead, and I crossed back underneath him, and then game broke.
Tough break for the 86 of Colt Ansley for sure. Looking forward, of course, I know you're definitely disappointed here at Bristol, but next week we're at Texas. That's a home race for you. Tell us what your thoughts are going into next week.
I'd rather win Bristol than Texas.
Fair enough. Colt, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck going forward.
Thanks, guys.
Disappointed Colt Ansley, understandably so. Definitely had a car that could have won this race here tonight. At least a top 2 finish. No one was touching him or the 46. So far, it seems that Brian Rose is the closest contention to these guys at the front of the field. Of course, that wreck did take out some contenders that could have been there at the end. See how things shake out here. Lap 183 of 250 already down. It's been the 86 and the 46 show so far tonight. The 86 parked in the pit lane for good. That car's gone to the garage. This might be David Bradford's to win.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I think we could have had a bump and run, or somebody's cage getting rattled here at the end. I think it would have been a great finish between these two. They had been right beside each other, nose to tail the whole race, and I think it was going to set up for an exciting finish.
We saw some of it in stage number 2. David did put the bumper to the 86. Just a little tap, say, hey, I'm here. And he did it successfully without wrecking the 86. And in fact, Colt continued to take the lead or hold on to the lead even after that. I think you're absolutely right. I think we were robbed of a really good stage 3 here because of that, unfortunately. Fortunately for David Bradford, though, he's got clear sailing out in front and some distance in behind. Mark Truxell now up to the 2nd spot, about 0.8 of a second in behind. Brian Rose has slipped to 5th. Not sure what happened with the 89. He was 2nd just a few laps ago. I did see he had some connection issues for a minute there and blinked out. Don't know if he's intentionally backing off because of that, trying not to ruin somebody else's race, but either way, losing some spots here late in the race for Brian Rose. It's 5th.
Yeah, we'll see if Mark Truxell can run down the 46. He was fast on that little stretch, but we'll see how it goes from here. Looks like Brian Rose has lost a few spots now.
Yeah, Brian's still sitting in the 5th spot from what I can see. Jesse Bobo 6th. Jesse's actually 6th place, last car in the lead lap. Again, we wadded up a lot of cars in that caution that we had. Really the only caution for an incident we've had all evening long. A place like Bristol Motor Speedway, usually you don't see that happen, but these guys have run a great race, and really they still have run a great race, because talking about that incident with the 86, it really wasn't his fault.
No, and like you said, it took out a bunch of cars, and then, you know, Will Hewitt looked strong, and he was, I think he got involved just getting loose by himself, and he's managed to make his way back up to 2nd now.
Some word from our pit reporters. Jeff Napier, the last car in the race right now, listed as 13th. He had an issue. I guess he had some damage. He was unable to get fixed, so he was out of the race early on.
Is Jeff back out there?
No, Jeff is not out there. I think he was DQ'd for not getting it repaired. He's 164 laps down, shown as 13th.
I see Justin's back out there. He's actually picked up 2 positions from being back out there.
Yeah, Neil Quick was involved in that as well. Justin's out there without a hood, but let's see what kind of lap times he's running. Last lap, 15:21. Right there with the same lap times as the leaders goes to 54. So again, we talked about that earlier. How does these cars handle with bad damage? Obviously pretty well, because this thing's missing the hood. Field pretty well spread out. Lead lap cars, the top 6: Bradford, Hewitt, Mcmullen, Truxell, Rose, and Bobo. Then we have Vincent Short, Justin Napier, Colt Ansley, Neil Quick, Carson Conway, Alan DeFries, Jeff Napier to the 13th spot. I think the only vehicle still on track in that list outside the lead lap cars is Vince Short, Justin Napier. And Justin got caught up in that wreck with the 86 into turn number 3. Affected the repairs on that Hateful chicken machine, but really just turning laps right now, hoping for some adversity from his competitors. No, we don't wish that on anybody, but Justin would certainly be happy to be able to pick up a couple more positions here. Vincent Short is out there. Let's see, does he have any damage? Yeah, that thing's beat up pretty good too. I'm not sure what kind of lap times he's turning or how many laps he's got difference between the 54.
Yeah, I think they're 32 laps or something. I think Vince is 1 lap down and Justin's 33 laps down.
Okay, so really Justin's just out there to protect. Justin's 33 laps down, Colt's 41. Everyone in behind, yeah, they're off the track.
Yeah, he may be just running until he knows, you know, there's no way of him passing Vince, or, you know, he may finish the race out anyways.
I mean, at this point, it's lap 209 of 250. I say you run all the laps the best that you can. Cross your fingers, see what happens. I mean, again, these cars have damage. Who's to say there's not a mechanical failure with one of these guys that are out there running around? Even if you only pick up 1 extra position, you know, we come down to 1 point difference to being the reason why you transfer or don't to the next round. So every lap is important. If you got an able car to at least be out there in somewhat competitive lap times, which he's running. His last lap, actually fastest car on the track, was the 54 of 14.83 seconds. Even with no hood.
Get that engine coil.
Yeah. Right now, this is the battle on track, though. Thomas Mcmullen and Mark Truxell. This is for the third position. Mark's taking a look to the inside, thinks better of it, tucks back in, dives down low once again into turn number 1. Mark seems to like this place. He's running well here, and he's doing it the hard way. Usually, he's just kind of running a clean race, saving his stuff to the end, which there's merits to that just about anywhere you go, especially a place like Bristol. But Mark was turning some good lap times. He was battling for position, but now here comes Brian Rose like a bat out of hell, catching these guys as they battle for position.
Yeah, they opened the door for Brian to catch him, and, you know, Brian's in the points race here, so, you know, he's going to try to go from 6th to 4th here.
Without a doubt. Brian Rose back on the move again. Now he's looking at the 0-2 with Thomas Mcmullen. Thomas was able to dispatch the 5 without a problem, but here's Justin Napier up top. Again, Justin running some good laps. Probably on fresher tires, just given that he was in the pits for a little bit longer than these guys, but either way. Oh, Justin dropping down low again. What's going on with the 54?
Not sure if he didn't want to be up there racing with the leaders, or...
I mean, admirable if that's the case. He seems to be back up on pace again.
Yeah, I think he may have just thought, hey, you know, it ain't worth taking one of the lead guys out battling with them.
I mean, it might be, you know, if he wrecks the lead guys and he can take advantage, but... Meanwhile, Brian Rose still working on the back of the 0-2. Thomas Mcmullen, lap 219 of 250, the Volunteer 250. Now, I got to say that the 89 of Brian Rose, he's sitting here behind Thomas Mcmullen. He seems to have the pace, but is he in his head right now? Is he thinking, you know, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to take my 4th place finish. I'm not going to chance it trying to take 3rd and ruin my night when he's already in a good position with some of the top guys out of the running for tonight's race. He has an opportunity to move up in the points. Does he just ride it out?
Well, I mean, talking to Brian before the race, you know, the guys close to him was the guys he was wanting to beat this race in the points. So that you could very well be right there.
I mean, we know David Bradford's out front, so that's something he needs to worry about. But Vincent Short running in the 7th spot. Points-wise, I know Brian needed to worry about staying out ahead of the 15, so far so good on that part of the plan. But every position counts. We talked about that with Justin Napier getting back out on track, that even if he picks up 1 or 2 spots, he's already picked up, I think, 1 for getting back out on the track. It could play a part later on in the running.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember a couple seasons ago, Bobby won the championship by 1 point.
Here comes Brian Rose to the inside of Thomas Mcmullen. Had a good run off the corner. They work side by side. Corner exit. Turn number 4 across the line. Mcmullen keeps the spot, but here comes Mark Truxell. He's going to be back into this mix here in a minute. We saw this happen with David Bradford and Colt Ansley earlier on. You start working to the bottom there, and the guys in behind you can gain ground. Now you've got the 5 of Truxell down low on the 89 of Brian Rose. He wants to take that spot away.
Yeah, that low side, just, you can't keep your momentum there. Looks like Brian's going to try to get him again as they catch Will Hewitt.
Yeah, they're going to go by Will Hewitt. Will Hewitt, I think, got into the wall. Damage on that 33, but he's going to be right in the middle of this mess. He goes low. Thought maybe he was going to go back and attack the 0-2, but Thomas Mcmullen is going to take this advantage. work it to his favor. As 2 car lengths off of turn number 2, Brian Rose actually does stay with Thomas McMullen pretty decently. Move both of those cars up a spot. Will Hewitt, though, rolling to pit lane. Definitely some damage to the right side of the 33 of Will Hewitt as we have 20 laps to go. Will was running solidly in the top 3. In fact, second spot. Has given that up due to some issues on track. Don't know when it happened, but definitely contact with the outside safer barrier. I think he's actually going to call it a night. Not changing tires unless he's just got required repairs first. That very well could be.
He could have knocked it out of line real bad and some required repairs before he could even get his tires.
But meanwhile, Brian Rose has gone around the O2 of Thomas McMullen, moved Brian Rose to the second spot. This has kind of fallen into his hands as the way he thought about the night. He needed to be ahead of the 15 of Vincent Short and needed to at least stay close to David Bradford. Well, that's it. David Bradford's leading this thing. Brian Rose is second. Vincent Short is sixth. So really, you couldn't ask for a whole lot more for a guy that doesn't like racing on short tracks.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing every week with Brian. You talk to him and he's kind of like, oh, I'm a mid-pack car, but at the end of the race, he's there every time in the top 5.
Well, nobody wants to talk trash about, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to, sweep the floor with you, and then you have a dud race and you finish dead last. You don't want to be that guy. So if you go in, you under-promise and over-deliver, you look like a hero every time.
Yeah, I think Brian this season, he's done a really good job of adjusting on the run throughout the race.
Speaking of adjustments, Mark Truxell and the O2 of Thomas McMullen now do battle once again. Truxell wants to take over that third position from Thomas. Side by side, cross the line. 13 laps to go. Truxell continues to work the low side. Not sure if Thomas got into the fence there at all, but off turn number 2, still a drag race into 3. Thomas takes the position, has the momentum. Less corner radius up top. Mark Truxell has to burn a little bit more tire and put some more heat into that tire as he tries to work that low lane. 12 laps to go. Hopefully he's got enough Goodyear Eagle underneath him to make it to the finish and keep this battle up. Truxell would love to take over that top 3 spot and get an interview here at HBR TV. I almost don't want to interview Thomas if he finishes third again.
Yeah, he takes it to heart, which, this race right here, it's with all the wrecks that have happened, I mean, I'll take a third here any day.
I don't know. I think if Thomas finishes third place here, it's going to be like interviewing Eeyore.
I think he'll be happy about it tonight. I got that feeling.
Wow. We'll see. With all the attrition, he very well might be happy about it, but he's still got to get there to the finish. Less than 8 laps to go, and Mark Truxell still pressuring the O2. Thomas McMullen in the third spot. Mark Truxell wants to get by and at least get a podium.
Ooh, Mark got a pretty good run on that bottom right there.
Mark's got it right down at the very bottom of that blacktop. Maybe a little bit of an advantage. I heard some guys talking, if you got the left front on that very bottom and pull the blacktop, it helps the car rotate a little bit, but it can also be a detriment. You can over-rotate, and then all of a sudden you're backwards.
Yeah.
Still a good battle here between Thomas McMullen and Mark Truxell. 5 laps to go from Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, this is the battle for the third spot. Thomas McMullen has it for now. Mark Truxell might have him clear off the turn. Not quite. Still side by side. He's going to keep working him. Thomas up top. Might have him clear. Mark Truxell to the third spot.
Yeah, it looked like Thomas is losing a lot in the middle to Mark.
But now you got to wonder, how much damage did Mark do to those tires trying to make that pass? Can he make it another 3 laps, or can Thomas reel him back in, put the pressure on the 5? See, out front, David Bradford still has a significant lead over the 89 of Brian Rose. 2 laps to go. Coming to the white flag. Last lap for David Bradford. He's into 1. David Bradford been a front-running car all afternoon, down the backstretch for the final time. Would have been a good battle between himself and Colt Ansley, but it is not to be. Off turn number 4, David Bradford wins the Volunteer 250. Brian Rose finishes in the 2nd spot. Mark Truxell takes home 3rd. Thomas Mcmullen 4th. Jesse Bobo a top 5 for the number 7. No victory burnouts for the 46 and David Bradford. He knows that this one was won more by iRacing than it was by him. Not to say that David didn't have a shot at it. It could have really come down to a great finish between himself and the 86, but not to be.
Yeah, you know, the type of person David is, he would have much rather got second and him and Colt battled out than to have the iRacing glitch happen.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, these guys have been racing in this league for quite some time, and we don't want it to come down to that. I mean, David especially. David doesn't like to make mistakes and cause that type of problem, but it's very frustrating when nobody really has any control over it. But we're going to step aside here, get a word from the Hateful Chicken. We will be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Volunteer 250. It's in the books. David Bradford is victorious. We're going to go to him in just a moment, but first of all, Eric Dotson, give us your take on this afternoon's race. Certainly some action early on between the 46 and the 86 of Colt Ansley. Colt getting caught up in an unfortunate incident after stage 2 came to a close. How would it look from your end?
Yeah, the iRacing glitch was just unfortunate in that accident. I mean, I think these two were going to put on a great show. They were by far the 2 studs of the field, and it was nip and tuck with them two. I'd have loved to seen it play out. And you know, I'm sure if we asked David here when we interview him, he's the same way. He would have rather seen it come out to the finish in the iRacing glitch.
Well, let's go to him right now. Our winner, David Bradford, the number 46, is with us. David, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
David, congratulations on the win. I know you much rather would have liked to battle that one out with the 86 of Colt Ansley. Either way, tell us about the battles with him in stages 1 and 2, and then ultimately the netcode contact that resulted in the 86 being out of this race.
Well, I'm glad you said it was netcode, man. I was real worried about, if I didn't give him enough room or whatever. I felt like I did. It just, both of our cars were driving on top of the track at that point on new tires. I was worried I had accidentally jabbed down into him or something, but a couple people told me, hey, man, no, you're good. It's just netcode. There was a big space between y'all. So made me feel a little better, but stage 1 and 2, we kind of just fell into a rhythm with each other. I had no problems following him for them stages. I mean, everybody's getting the same amount of stage points for 1 through 5, so it wasn't really a huge deal to press the issue. I tried it a couple times, and just that top line, man, after the tires get worked in and everybody's rolling, it's tough to beat that top line. That's why at the beginning of the 3rd stage, I really kind of pulled the pin on the grenade, tried to get around him as quick as possible, and he tried to cross me over, and that's when we had contact, unfortunately. I mean, he was good tonight. I felt like I was a little bit better on the long run than he was, but it didn't matter because once he had that clean air and that top line, I couldn't get around him. Try my best to run him clean. Maybe I could have used him up a little bit more, but got a decent points lead now. We're advanced, so I don't have to worry about it. But who knows what would have happened, man? I felt like me and him were gonna have a really strong race, and then Hewitt was running pretty good there too for a while, and I don't know what happened to him. He was within a second for a while, and then he just kind of fell back.
Yeah, it looked like the end of stage 3, near the end of the race there, I think with maybe 10-15 to go, Hewitt got into the fence, had some damage on that machine, had to pit to get it repaired. So unfortunately, Will finishes 7th out of that deal. Looked like he had a solid top 3 ready to go, but not to be.
Yeah, Brian did a good job tonight too, keeping his car somewhat clean and running a smart race, helping as much as I could on restarts and things like that, kind of help him out, letting him know when I'm going and things like that. And Brian ran a good smart race tonight, so props to him too.
So we heard you talk about Colt having the clean air in that high lane. You were able to get the pass done down low. Was it really just a matter of timing the run perfect to get that real deep entry into the corner, or tell us how you did that there?
It was more about both of our cars weren't driving very good the first couple laps, and it was then just, trying to outrace him, basically. And, when they're both on top of the track like that, nobody's really got the forward bite up off the corner, so you're trying to take as much racetrack as you can away. Got by him, and I felt like he would have had a good shot at getting right back by me, but I was going to try like hell to keep him down there for a couple more laps till the tires came in and got the top line rolling. But who knows, man? It's just one of them deals, I guess. I would have surely have liked to race it out with him for sure.
Well, you, me, Eric, and I think all the viewers all would agree with that sentiment. We were really looking forward to a good battle for the finish between you two, because it was certainly going to come down to you two guys. After Colt had his issues, it was pretty much your race to lose, and you brought it home P1. Congratulations, David. Before we let you get out of here, anybody you need to thank?
Of course, got to thank Dad and Uncle. Sitting at home watching every single week, man. Like I said, it don't matter if it's 2 cars or 12 cars. They watch every single week if I'm there. And thank those guys. I'm sure you guys appreciate it too, getting a couple more viewers. And I thank Bobby and Cody. Of course, they're not here tonight, but them guys really keep it running. And they take ideas and mold them and make them a little bit better. And I think it's making the competition a little bit better. I mean, for Bristol to only have 2 or 3 cautions, I mean, what more can you ask for?
Now, we had 3 cautions and 2 of them were stage breaks. So yeah, I'll take that any day at Bristol.
Yes, sir. I mean, that just goes to show the caliber of drivers and how much they're paying attention to this penalty system. And, they're trying to stay clean and stay off of each other. And I think it's really showing. It's starting to. And hopefully we'll get some more cars in here with the same attitude and have some good full fields, or at least half full fields, and have some good racing.
All right, Dave, well, again, congratulations. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck going into Texas next week.
Thanks, man.
Next up, we'll go to Brian Rose. See if we can get Brian pulled up here into the booth. Brian, it's Steve and Eric in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Brian, man, you came home second today. Take us through how that happened.
Man, you know what? It's Bristol. I love Bristol. This is a fun place to get around. You know, I knew in that last stage was, that was going to be a 100-lap stage, so it was longer than we've ran all night. And I'd been faster on the long runs, in the last two stages than guys in front of me. So I just backed off and let them kind of wear their stuff out, and then started trying to get up through there. I knew I didn't have nothing for David. Once I got to second place, it was pretty much just maintain. But it was just getting a car to rotate in the center and get a good drive off. And this Trap Bar Media, got a podium. It's been a long time, feels like, since I got to talk to you guys.
Definitely deserved it here. You done a great job staying out of trouble, and you was able to bring it back from the back. Was that your goal kind of in the beginning, is just drop back, let them guys wear their tires up? Because we seen you drop back, and then you came right to the front to get the second position.
It was, and I mean, having teammates, Carson, Vince, David, absolutely 100%. Coming out here and practicing and being able to gauge tire wear, and then translating that to race day, that's huge, because you can judge where you're at in that first few laps. So I went a little too hard in the first stage. I decided to back it off a little bit, and then I started making up ground towards when the stage was coming to an end. And that was pretty much my goal, let them burn their stuff up and then try to squeak by them. But it is so hard to pass here. I mean, sure, you guys saw me trying to get around Thomas all night long, and it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, we seen it was hard to pass here, and you were able to complete that pass and pick up some positions. I know you're in the championship running, so we'll look forward to you going forward and watching your progress there. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody out here. Good, clean race. I mean, you get 3 cautions and 2 of them stage breaks here at Bristol. I mean, that's just a testament to these guys racing clean. So got to thank Scar, the Hateful Chicken, as always, Trap Bar Media, Holler Boys Racing TV. You guys always do an awesome job. And hey, we're in it now. So look forward to Texas next week and go out there and try to get a win. Win, you're in. You don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely. Great job tonight, Brian. We'll let you go and move on to Texas next week.
Thank you, guys.
With Brian Rose, your second place finisher, a Holler Boys Racing 1-2 finish here at Bristol. Third place finisher, Mark Truxell. We're going to get him up here in the booth here right now. Mark Truxell, it's Steve and Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Sure do, guys. Go ahead.
Mark, congratulations, man. I got to say, 9 times out of 10, we watch you in this series, and you are the calm, cool, collected, calculating driver who's always there at the finish, not ruffling feathers, not sticking your nose in places. But we saw you at the beginning of stage 2, like you were shot out of a cannon, and all of a sudden you're leading this thing and pulling away. What got into you tonight?
Well, being disconnected last week kind of hurt me in the points, that's for sure. So tonight I had to just kind of keep my head down and go for broke, really, I guess.
Well, I got to ask, I mean, is Bristol the kind of place that you really like to get around? Because you seem to be running really good lap times all night long.
Yeah, I'd have to say Bristol and Martinsville is probably the tracks I've got the most laps on throughout.
All right, so short tracks for certain with Mark Truxell. Again, that's awesome. A third place finish again, nicely done. Going into Texas next week, definitely not a short track. What are your thoughts going into that place?
I'm just going to have to keep my foot on the floor and just try to do like I did tonight, just keep my eyes open for trouble brewing and try to avoid it and work my way towards the front.
Mark Truxell, straightforward and to the point. Congratulations again. Before we let you go, Mark, is there anybody on that race car that you need to thank, or even anybody at home might be watching?
Absolutely. I'd like to thank Little Tate's Cupcakes, AlexMorganImaging.com, Highways Auto Body Auto Repair, the boys at Schaefer Construction, and I want to thank my mom.
last but not least, and most important, got to thank Mom. Mark, congratulations, man. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck next week at No Limits, Texas.
All right, thank you guys. You guys do an awesome broadcast, and I want to thank you guys and the Hateful Chicken also.
Thanks for the kind words, Mark. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was your third place finisher, Mark Truxell, the number 5 Little Tate's Cupcakes machine. Had a good showing here, fought hard for a top 3 finish. Didn't even qualify here this evening. So he's 9, 10, 11, 12, started 12th. So second to last car on the grid. I think Jeff Napier started dead last, and Mark was just ahead of him, finishes top 3. So nicely done out of the 5 machine. So again, I know we kind of talked about your thoughts, Eric. It was a great race. I mean, it really had a lot. The first 2 stages, I got to admit, definitely were the best parts of the event for sure. Kind of took the wind out of our sails when we lost the 86 there with his incident related to netcode. It's all what could have been, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'd love to been able to see these 2 race it out, and I'm sure Cole absolutely would have, and David would too. So hopefully we can get this net code fixed. I think this could have been a photo finish the way these 2 were running each other.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the way that top line was dominant, but that bottom line, you were able to make some runs. I mean, you couldn't clear a guy, but I just saw it shaping up that one of these guys was going to have to make a pass down low, at least get the nose out in front at the line. And unfortunately, it just didn't play out that way with us losing the 86. It's a bummer, but man, I hope we come back to Bristol next year and we'll give it another shot.
Yeah, it was going to be a big run on the inside, or maybe a bumper here or there. It was going to be an exciting finish anyway it went around.
Well, that's going to about wrap it up for us here at HBR TV. Tough break for Colt Ansley. Let's go through the finishing results. David Bradford, of course, your winner. Brian Rose was second. The Holler Boys Racing 1-2 finish. Mark Truxell, a good finish for him, finishes third. Good points day for the number 5. Fourth was Thomas Mcmullen, although he certainly battled hard to hang out of that third spot. Mark Truxell just able to sneak out and take it away from the 0-2. Jesse Bobo finishes with a top 5 again, the number 7, having another good showing here in the playoffs. Vincent Short finishes in the 6th spot. 7th was Will Hewitt. Again, tough break for the 33. Will was running in the 2nd position late in the going. I think had some contact with the wall. Didn't see what happened with the 33, but damage nonetheless. Had to stop, get that fixed. Finishes 7th position instead of that 2nd he was hoping to at least be able to have. 8th was Justin Napier after his incident in the Colt Ansley wreck. And again, Colt Ansley finishes 9th. Neil Quick sat on the front row. Pole position driver immediately lost the lead and was unable to get back near the front. Not sure what the deal was there with Neil Quick, but unfortunately Neil Quick finishes 10th, 87 laps down. Again, also involved in that incident. I think it was about lap 171. With Colt Ansley. Carson Conway had an engine failure. He finishes 11th. Alan DeFries, 151 laps down. And Jeff Napier also with unrepairable damage, unable to get to the finish line here tonight, finishes 13th. Once again, thank you to everyone in the streams, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. We still got a few of you watching. Everybody else kind of goes away as soon as the checkered flag drops. But if you guys have not already done so, and you're my, loyal supporters, you probably already have, please like, follow, share, subscribe, all them buzzwords. Facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV. Also on YouTube at HollerBoysRacingTV. Those likes, those shares, those follows, all that stuff helps those different platforms kind of determine who gets to see our streams next. So it does make a difference. If you haven't done it, please do it. Like all the episodes, all the races, all the live streams. It makes a difference, and we certainly do appreciate that support. So that's going to do it for us. Again, thanks to the Hateful Chicken, again, for being a major partner in this series. Not just here, but the Super Late Model and ARCA. It's going to about do it. Congratulations to David Bradford winning the Volunteer 250. For Eric Dotson, I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a good night.